Wo0t being quiet. And he can't hear me, I'll tell you he can't hear me, but it feels like he can. Because that was a lovely round from him, one that they desperately needed. Of course, we normally put this to the attack side. We lean it in that direction. Yeah, I got a little bit lost in the sauce, but it's all right. We're going to be heading our way over to Lotus. It's not something you expect to see from them in the early stages, so they definitely can start that little bit slow.
He has evaded their sights, though.
Yeah, this could be a problem. They're going to walk directly into each other. It's not the prettiest of fights, but most importantly, it will be that opening pick. And now they're looking to try and wrap back around the double initiator on this side of the map. You might be looking at a fade, but for Wo0t, that's almost definitely a secondary duelist. Never mind, it's Ried's to do the work, but Ethan has still kept them firmly in control. Only Boo left standing, and he will walk into the grass with the opposing IGL as well. But there, he was like, yeah, you know, we won both pistols, we got there. And Investor Ones, that's huge, and then goes, it'll be a 2-0.
2-0, 13-3, 13-4. Well, very, very soon. I think he spotted a few. Well, that works.
This seems like Mad is a little bit cursed. It's like the delay, though, from this defensive side has been fantastic. They're walking straight into the blender. As all that is left is Som.
With Boo ready to swing after. That's a beautiful setup. And even though he lands the first shot.
The best player in the server and the worst. It really is like a 50-50 split. And I think the guy he's up against in Madder always seems to be pretty consistent with those numbers. Someone that's definitely a hot prospect within North America at the moment.
And this ultimate on A is for that exact purpose, but they're not moving out of position.
Benji's been tagged so desperately low. Madder's done well on the opener. And then brawk quickly able to trade. They're going to make the flip back towards the B side. The thing is, there is still a player waiting around this angle. That is Wo0t, trying to delay them as much as possible, but the snakebite is solid.
And they've got that Viper orb up towards the B connector. Into C, Ethan stunned up on the way back through. That's a great stun lineup from Rienz, but Scuba manages to pick one coming out of heaven. Makes it a little bit easier for Som.
Dead for his teammate. And then just the late round catch as the Poison Orb does his work. Some nice shots from Scuba. Obviously, seeing that Odin on the attack side.
Oh, I love to see it. It hasn't landed the damage, but it did send players backwards. Nice showstopper landed. Banshee Fishy down. Rienz drops, and they know that he's here. They're ready for the fight.
Really?
Rienz putting the ult through. This is a 2 versus 4. He's basically alone on this site and feels confident to take the battle, but they have overwhelmed him with the numbers. That feels like a bit of an overcommitment, and now Boo's left in a 1v3. As that round could have went for them. A 2 versus 4 Rolling Thunder. Ambitious play. The showstopper that opened it up did well. And it's always good to see. Oh yes.
I will say, if it was anyone else, result of Wolves, and you go, oh, it should have been them winning. But I think at the start of the tournament, nobody would have expected that. Miniboo at least has started off well. Steel Garden will quickly remove his gun, but he does have teammates to support. This at least gives the space, or at least you think it does. Never mind, the defenders are coming back swinging, getting into their face, the Odin again, and now Scuba strikes one more time. A decent read, but he's got to get the timing just right, and he does. That's one to his name, brawk. Well,
he's just stood here. 45 seconds left on the clock. He hasn't even picked up the spike. He's just waiting for Miniboo to walk on through.
Som's already claimed that space. They are making this incredibly awkward for the defense to retake.
Through. There's almost no choice but to make it up through heaven. Late play going to be attempted by Benji Fishy to lurk through that pit. Wo0t finding two. Okay, now we're on the board. Now it's looking doable. That might just draw the eye, but the Odin spam inside the pit proves too deadly. In goes Benji Fishy, dropping the pit and leaving brawk alone, but he's landing another on 6 HP, trying to bait the player off the defuse, and by now he knows he's done it. Time on his side as it ticks away. Attempted spray is good. The time desperately low.
Okay, you speak about Wo0t being quiet. And he can't hear me, I'll tell you he can't hear me, but it feels like he can. Because that was a lovely round from him, one that they desperately needed. Of course, we normally put this to the attack side. We lean it in that direction. Nightfall earned in the last round by Wo0t. Going to delay them a little bit. They don't have any flank available. They're going to throw in the Rolling Thunder. They're putting everything in here to try and stop NRG, and what might just be working. Boo combining with Wo0t, leaving this down, but Scuba, he's been so good in the most crucial rounds, and well, we don't even need to talk about brawk at this point. You know what he's doing. 40 seconds left. Spike on the deck.
Gone down to that spam. He's now 30 HP. 15 seconds as they pushed away. They've spawned Mini Boo on the side, but the brothers combined to take this one across the line.
Back pockets in terms of finances after only Wo0t survived in the last round. Like, they couldn't afford to lose this one, and it came incredibly close. Like, the swing through the smoke at the end looked like it really could have gone either way, and I'm still massively impressed with what we're seeing from the likes of, but nonetheless, Boo's still up close. Has the weapon for these close range battles, but he's about to be swarmed. A single kill would be nice. You know what? He's done well, but he doesn't have the bullets to play with. Immediately traded out by Mada for what he had. That's not bad. It's at least a 1-for-1. That's not though. Rien's normally sublime with the pistols, but he doesn't even get a chance to shoot Mini Boo. He's found a gap. He's found an angle. He's found a chance to maybe take this home, but it's the Odin that puts him down. Been put to bed already. He's going to be left into that 1v1. Here's the steps coming, but has to now reposition. Time.
10 seconds left.
He needs to get that down. He will do. Benji hasn't managed to do as much as he'd like, but he will force him into an awkward position. Boo, a cheeky corner that hasn't been checked. He's looking for a little bit more burn. Oh, no, it's not pretty, but eventually gets the job done. The problem is the defense have taken most of the rest of the site back. Low on HP, the brothers need to try and drag this pistol home, and Scuba's just been waiting the whole time. Back of that site, Boo can't hold on.
Boo being tucked behind that box. They're able to win every other fight in time. The pressure is still on Heretics, despite springing that trap.
He should. Eventually, you're going to see Wo0t make that move. They do have to be careful of those same spams, but he's just about been able to avoid them, and Boo is trying to desperately defend from the 3 players coming through that B-link.
Well, this is a round that Heretics need to win. A loss here should be NRG running away with the end of this. That's a huge reveal! Som grabs a double on the back of it. Benji Fishy forced back by the Vice Flash. It wasn't destroyed earlier somehow, but he's able to destroy the first player through. Unfortunately, Mada and brawk still drawing breath easily.
Quite a while to go left in his career. And that was just such a sick piece of utility. And it always makes you think back to like when he played more aggressive roles, like playing the likes of a Yoru or something like that.
Not something that's easy to come by in a round like this. If Mada goes out here, it could be an overextension, but Showstopper pop, it doesn't find anyone. That player was up on Mound, and now Mada's isolated in the corner. They're popping a lot of utility. It's an easy pick, and they'll get it.
Yeah, the thing is there is a response. Ethan's done well. brawk's alongside to eventually give them that man advantage back, and what a sneaky spot. The worst thing is when they originally went through this, they didn't actually trigger the wall, so they're immediately going to know that he's at least close to this angle. He's going to try and use it to his own advantage. I like the little bit of parkour, but this is the thing that I've said so much about NRG throughout this match so far, is they're so controlled, they're so patient. They're very happy to just, okay, we have an advantage, we don't need to overface, we can sit back, and it doesn't matter who it is on the team. Everybody is on the same line.
So needed, and I stressed that this was probably the heavier underdog in these matchups. What a resurgence from that stage previously played out in Americas. This squad's come back fighting
Spike down
for their honor, being held by Scuba, being flanked out by brawk as well, and no idea where these players have gotten to. The jump found by Scuba, his third of the round, and a solid showing here by NRG today.